Louis Vuitton is the world's most valuable luxury fashion brand. Its CEO, Bernard Arnault, with a net worth of approximately $180 billion, is the second richest person on the planet. When you look at the company's current success, it's hard to believe that it was founded by a man who was once homeless, uneducated, and sleeping in the forest during his youth. Louis was born in 1821 in the small French village of Angers. His family lived on a remote farm without electricity or running water. Growing up there, Louis's father worked as a miller and farmer, while his mother made hats for extra income. There is no record of him receiving formal education, likely due to the nearest school being 6 miles away, and his need to work full-time on the farm, where he probably learned to read and write. To help his family, he worked in the fields from sunrise to sunset daily. The family's poverty significantly limited Louis's prospects for a bright future. His situation worsened when he lost his mother at the age of 10, and his father remarried soon after. Louis's stepmother was very controlling and manipulative, leading to constant arguments. This prompted Louis to run away from home at 13, aiming to reach Paris. However, Paris was 325 kilometers away, and Louis had no money for transportation or food. He had to walk on dirt roads, often going hungry and trying to stay warm with just a blanket while sleeping in the forest. In each new village, he worked as a laborer in exchange for food or coins, but could never afford lodging, so he continued to sleep in the forest or find shelter wherever he could. Through these various odd jobs, Louis acquired skills from artisans, learning to work with metal, stone, fabric, and wood, skills that would later transform his life. However, traveling at this pace was incredibly slow, and it took him 3 full years to reach Paris. Shortly after arriving in Paris, Louis started working as an apprentice to a boxmaker and packer. This job allowed Louis to meet many upper-class individuals looking for custom luggage for their travels. In 1851, he became a personal boxmaker and packer for the Empress of France, who was impressed by his craftsmanship. For most boxmakers, this would have been the highest honor of their careers. Louis had transformed from a homeless youth with nothing to his name into someone with a prestigious job among royalty. This was a great achievement on its own, but Louis Vuitton had a bigger vision for his future. At the age of 33, after getting married, Louis used his savings to open a box-making workshop in Paris. He noticed that the suitcases of the time had a major flaw. They were made of leather with rounded tops, which caused rain to slide off, but made them impossible to stack. Louis began experimenting and found that canvas was lighter and more water-resistant, allowing him to create suitcases with flat tops. This innovation made luggage more efficient, as it could now be stacked and packed more easily. Louis's new suitcase design quickly became a hit, especially among the wealthy, and soon turned into a status symbol. His brand's popularity soared, with orders coming in from all over the world, even as far as Egypt. By 1859, Louis Vuitton's success allowed him to hire a team of craftsmen and open a new workshop outside Paris with 20 workers. As train and ship travel became more common, the demand for quality luggage grew, attracting a wider range of customers beyond just the wealthy. Louis seemed to be on the path to continued success, but the Franco-Prussian War in 1870 brought tragedy. Forced to flee his home, Louis returned in 1871 to find his workshop destroyed and looted. Instead of giving up, he used his savings to rebuild and opened a new store in a wealthier area of Paris, near a train station and the Grand Hotel. His new striped beige canvas luggage design became incredibly popular despite attempts by others to copy it. Louis continued working in Paris until his death at 70, leaving the business to his son, Georges. Georges expanded the Louis Vuitton brand globally, opening a successful store in London. As counterfeit products became an issue, Georges introduced the iconic LV monogram in 1896 to deter fakes and honor his father. He also developed a new lock for trunks that thieves couldn't open. By 1900, the company had 100 employees, all trained extensively to become expert boxmakers. In 1925, the company began producing smaller leather bags, including the Alma, designed by Chanel. These stylish bags helped change the perception of handbags, making them more fashionable. Unfortunately, in 1936, Georges passed away and his son Gaston Louis took over. However, Gaston faced challenges as World War II loomed. To keep the business afloat, Gaston collaborated with Nazi Germany, a controversial decision revealed in a book by Stephanie Bonvin. Despite the company's attempts to hide this part of its history, it's believed that this collaboration helped Louis Vuitton survive during the war, similar to other designers like Coco Chanel. When Gaston passed away in 1970, his son-in-law, Henri Racamier, took over the Louis Vuitton brand, marking the fourth generation to manage the company. Unlike his predecessors, Henri had business experience, which he used to transform Louis Vuitton from a family business into a global powerhouse. He shifted the company's focus from wholesale to retail and expanded internationally, reaching countries like Japan by 1978. Under his leadership, sales skyrocketed from $20 million to $265 million, adjusted for inflation, in just 6 years. In 1984, Henri took the company public, using the proceeds to open more stores worldwide. By 1987, Louis Vuitton had achieved $1 billion in sales. Henri also merged Louis Vuitton with Moet Hennessy, a luxury beverage company, to create LVMH, a new luxury holding company. However, tensions arose after the merger, leading Henri to bring in real estate developer Bernard Arnault to help manage the situation. Unfortunately, Bernard secretly bought 43% of Louis Vuitton's shares, gaining control of the company with support from the Moet and Hennessy families. Feeling betrayed, Henri took Bernard to court, but the courts sided with Bernard, forcing Henri to step away from the company. For the first time in nearly 100 years, no member of the Vuitton family was involved with the brand. After the hostile takeover, Louis Vuitton's sales declined and the brand seemed to be struggling. However, Bernard turned things around by collaborating with renowned fashion designers like Vivienne Westwood and Isaac Mizrahi, who reimagined the iconic LV monogram. These collaborations revived interest in the brand, making Louis Vuitton bags highly sought after once again. Bernard's investment paid off, and in 2021, he was declared the richest person in the world, with a net worth of over $180 billion. Despite his wealth, Bernard Arnault remains one of the least known among the world's richest, preferring to stay out of the spotlight. The company he helped build now owns many of the world's most luxurious brands, all starting from a humble beginning with a bankrupt, homeless young man.